Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to understand how to programmatically invoke events. Alright, so let me first erase these things so I do not need it anymore. Right, so let's first understand the meaning of invoking events programmatically. So let's say you have applied a click event on some HTML element, and that click event will only execute when you manually click on that element. But I do not want this behavior. I want that uh, the click event should be fired automatically itself without manually clicking on the HTML element. So let me showcase this thing. So I do not need this division tag right now. So let me erase the text box too. We do not need it. So let's apply this event on a button. So here I am writing that I need a button, and on this button I'm going to apply a click event. So when you click on this, this function should execute, and within this function I'm saying, let's say, hello, you clicked me, right? So this is the normal approach of applying and executing events. So let me save it, go back and refresh your page. Now if you want to execute that event, you have to manually click on it. So I will first move my cursor here, and then I click on the apply, and see, I got hello, you clicked me, right? So this is a normal approach, manually clicking on the apply button. So I want that at least once this click event should execute automatically without manually clicking on the apply button, and later on you can invoke this click event by manual clicking, right? So let me write here dot click. So by using this syntax, you are executing click event programmatically, not manually. So let me save it and go back and see, my cursor is here. Now I'm gonna refresh my page. See, my cursor is still on the top. So I did not move my cursor to the apply button. I did not click on the apply button. Still, this event is fired automatically, right? Now I click on the OK. Now if you want to execute this event or this function once again, now you have to click manually, right? So once it will execute automatically, or you can say for the first time, this click event will be fired programmatically automatically itself, and later on you have to click on the apply button manually. So this is about this concept, and it is not like that you can only apply you can only invoke these events programmatically for one or two events. Even you can do it for other events too. Let me do it for double click, right? And then you need to write here double click, dbl click. So this double click will automatically be fired. Let me refresh my page. See, it's fired. Now if I go here, I need to do double click, and then it will be invoked, right? And similarly, likewise, you can write mouse move, right? And here you need to write mouse move, okay? And this way you can invoke almost every event programmatically. Now let me teach you something else about these events, right? So let me go back here, and let's say I want to bind two different event handlers on my apply button. So let me write here button dot, I'm using a bind function here, and because I need to bind multiple functions on my button click, so here I am writing I want click, and when you click on this button I need to execute this function, and here I'm writing I am the first one, okay? And then I'm copying it, and then I'm pasting it here, and here I am writing I am the second one. So this way we are going to bind two different event handlers, right? You can call these functions as event handlers. So I have binded two different event handlers on my button, and the event is same, the click event. So when I click on this button, these two event handlers will execute. Now how can you invoke these events programmatically? If I write here dot, let's say click, right? So let's see the behavior. First go back to your browser. Now see, I am the first one. This is invoked programmatically, right? And if I click OK, the second one is also invoked programmatically. So I only wrote the click function here in the second bind function at this point. So only the second event handler, only it should execute, but both the event handlers are executing. So this is what that I do not want, right? So what can you do here? So here, rather than using the click function, you can write a trigger function, and within the trigger you can specify the namespaces. So I am going to give a name to my first click event, and I would say this is the first, and here I should say this is the second. So this is the way of giving names to your event, and this concept is known as namespaces. So let me write down here namespaces, right? Or you can write applying namespaces with events. Now with these namespaces I can specify my trigger function, that which function should be execute programmatically, right? So I am saying that I want to execute click dot second, right? So I want this one, I do not want the first one. So go back, refresh your page. See, I am the second one right here at this point, right? And if you click on the OK, and I do not get the, I am not getting the second function, right? Sorry, I am not getting the first function here. Let me refresh it here again. See, I am only getting the second one where I applied the trigger function. This time I am not getting the first one. So this is the exact behavior that I want. So with the help of trigger function, you can use it, and with the trigger you can specify the namespaces. I am specifying that I want to execute the second event handler when you click programmatically on this button, right? And remember that these are, let me write down here, these are event handlers. And here at this point, let me take my tool here, these are actually your namespaces, right? Events with namespaces, right? So now I want to share one more thing with you, and that is also very important. So let me first erase it, and here I'm going to say when I click on my button I should execute this function, right? Okay, let me focus on the one concept here. So when I click on my button, this function should execute. This is my event handler, and here I'm gonna write I am executed, right? Let's save it. So what is the concept of one? So just like a bind method, we have a one method in a jQuery library, right? And it it gives you only single opportunity to click on a button. So the lifetime of this click event is single click. So once it is clicked, it will never be executed again. So let me save it, go back, and now refresh your page. Now I'm going to click on apply. I am executed. Okay, now I'm going to click here again. See, nothing is happening. So if you are using a one function to apply the events, then the lifetime of that event would be a single click or a single double click, right? Only once. You can do that events event only once. After that, its lifetime is over and you won't be able to perform any action. So this is all about invoking events programmatically using the trigger function and using the one method.